So we're going to find the inverse of this. So do you have an idea what it should look like before we even start? What I like to do is just kind of take a guess at what it should look like. Okay. Well, you're undoing all this stuff here, and you're doing it in complete reverse order. That's the idea. So I don't know if this makes, you can tell me if this makes sense or not, but if I plugged a number in here, I'd multiply it first, I'd subtract 3, I'd add 3 to it, and then I'd take the cube root of all that, right? The very last thing I did was take a cube root. So the very first thing I need to do is cube it. That's the opposite of the cube root, is a cube. And then, let's see, if I'm working backwards, it would be minus 3. Jeez. I need to quit drinking pop, I think. It's screwing up my mind. That or all the crack cocaine I smoke. I don't know which one it is. Could be the diet or... Oh, wait, I'm recording this. Oh, no. Anyways, and then divided by 5. So now, if you're just kind of guessing at it, the reason why I want you to be able to kind of guess is just to understand what an inverse does. So if I multiply it first, I'm going to wind up dividing last here because you do what's on top of the fraction first. I added 3, so I'm going to subtract 3, and I took a cube root, so I'm going to take the power of 3. That's the idea. Now, if you did, I did that in purple because that's the idea beforehand. So it's y equals the cube root of 5x plus 3. So I'm just going to change that out to a y because that's all right. And I'm going to change out the x and the y. And effectively, when I do this, I'm going to solve for y now. And effectively, it's going to force me to do everything backwards. It's going to force me to undo the first thing, and then undo the second thing, and undo the third thing. It's going to force me to do that. So if I solve for x, to get rid of the power of 3, or the cube root, I'm sorry, to get rid of the cube root, you take the power of 3 on both sides. So you're left with the cube, x cubed equals 5y plus 3. Then what would you do then to solve for y?
So you're going to make x to the third minus 3.
You got to subtract 3, right? And then to get rid of the 5, you divide it. And instead of writing a y there, we're going to write f inverse of x is what I'm going to write. And then write that down right there. I go completely reverse. Does that make sense? So let's do the other one here. Grab some more paper. The next one is 3x minus 2 cubed. So I'm going to take a stab at it first off. That's what I'm going to try to do, right? It has to have something with a cube root, right? A cube root has to be in there somewhere. There has to be a division by 3 somewhere, and there has to be a plus 2 somewhere. It has to be all those things in there. And in what order do you do it in? So the very first thing I do here is times by 3. So the very last thing I need to do is divide by 3. Then I would add 2 to something. And then the very last thing I do is a power of 3. So the very first thing I need to do is a cube root of 3. So I did that in purple because that's my guess. That's just a guess. And hopefully that guess kind of keeps us on the right track. If not, if you can't do that, that's fine.
Is that sufficient enough?
Yeah, I mean that is, but I wouldn't leave it that way because my God, I can't write numbers. You know, I mean, what would have stopped me from writing the 3? I mean, I could have just screwed up. So I'm gonna do it both ways. It's a way of me checking my work basically. But yeah, beyond them just saying show your work, then it's all you can do. So I wouldn't leave it to chance because they might get happy and say, well, they didn't show their work, so I won't give them full credit. So cube root of x kills off the power of 3. Then you're going to add 2. Wouldn't that suck that you know how to do this so well that you don't have to write any work, but you wouldn't get full credit for it? See, look at this. I just screwed up. And then divide by 3. And I'm not going to write the y here. I'm going to say v inverse of x equals the cube root of x plus 2 over 3. I swear I really know what I'm doing. Nah, I don't care anymore. I usually make these stupid mistakes anyway, don't I?